Greetings, Phillies. Greetings, Phillies fans. Welcome back to the first Sunday version of the Fighting Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Your boy Matty B on the call, and yeah, no, listen, this is not going to be an excuse-driven show. I'm not going to sit here and blame the sunlight, blame the cold, blame the hot dogs or anything like that, blame Cole Hamels. I ain't gonna blame any of that. The Phillies were outright embarrassed over the weekend. This opening series was an embarrassment by the Phillies offense and a stark reminder of why those of us who have sane minds wanted a complete overhaul or a change of this team. And I know it's not over. Obviously, we're 3 games in, but this is not a good way to get it going. This is not a good way to say, you know what, we had the right decision to run it back. And we're bringing these players back because we really believe in what we're going to do. They fall today 8-3. Another lethargic offensive performance by this team. Pitching again, this time Jesus Luzardo. I was prepared to give Nola a pass yesterday for, in that nasty cold weather, feeling uncomfortable, being the way he was. Luzardo sucked today. Another labored performance by another Philly starter. Another 90-some-odd pitch. Was it 99 pitches through 5 innings? Somebody explain to me where that's acceptable. Somebody explain to me where 99 pitches through 5 innings is a quality start. I don't give a crap what era of baseball we're in. The man almost threw 100 pitches through 5 innings, and it showed. The home run ball once again comes back to bite the Phillies on the ass, and we just had no answers. No answers offensively. No answers with the starting pitching. Otto Kemp is running around out in the outfield like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't know what he's doing out there. Zach Pop, or can we make our first roster move in 2026? Kirkering injured, whatever. Give me Seth Johnson. Give me Alan Rangel. Just don't give me Zach Pop no more. I don't want to. I've seen enough of this guy to know that he's not going to be the answer moving forward into the season. And all this equals to a Phillies 8-3 loss, dropping 2 out of 3 to the Rangers to start this season. It's not a good way to get going, man. It ain't. And welcome back to the inaugural Sunday edition of the Fighting Final here in 2026. So it's good to be back with you. It's good to be back on this show on Sundays. We got a big Sunday lineup typically on the show. This is the day of the week that we do our minor league down the Phillies farm segment. We're not doing it today for obvious reasons. I got 2 games to talk about, or 3 games to talk about for the Iron Pigs, and that's it. And I'm not going to start breaking down the Iron Pigs after 3 games. So we'll start the actual segment next Sunday with the Iron Pigs, and then the following Sunday we'll start everybody because by then I think the other levels start this week coming up. So next week we'll get into a full-blown breakdown of the Phillies farm, but well, actually, no, we won't. We'll get into the AAA. So it's a slow process as we get things started here this season. But I do want to talk about the Iron Pigs a little bit at the end of the show. So we came here for the Phillies. Let's get into the Phillies. Just embarrassing, man. Embarrassing. Well, that was embarrassing. Yeah, there you go. Hard to find any positives. No. No. It's really, really hard to find some positives. I really don't know what to, if we're talking individual game today, I have nothing. I have nothing positive to talk about today. If you want to talk about the series, obviously we could talk Chris Sanchez. That was a very promising start. But you're right. I got nothing to talk about today either, positively. Sauer says this sucks. Crawford is our best hitter. Marsh and Crawford are the 2 best pitcher. Marsh and Crawford are the 2 best pitchers. Terrible way to start the season. It was, and it is. And, wins and losses come. 162 friggin' games. They're not going to go 162-0. They're also not going to go 161-1. I get all that, right? And I'm not sitting here telling you that, oh, no, burn the boats because it's over at 1-2. But there are some really cold, hard reminders of why me, you, everybody else out there was really concerned about another year of this core of players. to the point where I was completely against it. But there was a lot of stark reminders. This offense, man, this let's wait to the 7th, 6th inning to start hitting. That's not going to work through 162 games. That's absolutely not going to work. And what's going on in the middle of the lineup, or what I guess is considered the middle of this lineup, with Harper, Schwarber, Realmuto. What's the 0 for 11 with 2 walks in this series? Harper was 1 for 11, or what? Did he get a hit today? No, I know he walked. That's right. He didn't get a hit. Harper on the series, 1 for 11. I mean, this is what we're paying these guys big money for. Schwarber today, 1 for 4. I mean, is this what the money is being paid for 1 for 11 from Harper? And as the boos are intensifying, I find it very funny that Mr. Not Elite, they're raining down on him right now. They're going down hard on Harper, and good for them. This is embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing, and I don't want to hear the positive patties out there sit here and tell me, well, it's March. Yes, it's March, but it's not like we've not seen this before. This is not like, oh God, Jesus Christ, they're struggling. Oh no, where is this coming from? No, man, this is a carryover. It's a carryover from 2025. It's a carryover from 2024, so on and so forth, because these are the same players. And to magically say, oh, bing, Harper's fixed, or bing, Schwarber's going to actually try to use all fields, just was never in the cards to begin with. It's a very terrible way to start the season. Sanchez, really, for the series, I give Chris Sanchez a positive pat on the back. Crawford and March are the 2 best hitters. Confusing me a little bit, Star Wars. Otto Kemp needs not to be in the outfield. Yeah, Papernick, listen. He misplayed multiple balls out there. The early double in the game, he probably could have made a play on that ball. The second double where he played too aggressively, and then he really didn't have a shot at that one. But because if he played it too aggressively, that he didn't play the carom correctly and the ball got away from him. Yeah, that was an adventure out there for Otto Kemp today. Absolute adventure. And I mean, it doesn't go a long way in the confidence of Otto Kemp playing the outfield. Garcia with the issue with the sun. I mean, well, but yeah, Kemp was a little bit of an adventure in the outfield today. Can Felix Reyes play the outfield? Well, I mean, can Felix Reyes play the outfield? Maybe. I mean, why not? Young player, we can convert him, right? Sanchez was the only positive. I'm going to push back a little bit. I think Justin Crawford's pretty much of a positive too. I thought Justin Crawford in his inaugural series was about what we expected. He did flip that lineup over a few different times this weekend. I was impressed by that. I'm not impressed by the kid gloves with approach with him, with Rob Thompson. Yesterday we talked about it this morning. Lifting him for a pinch hitter in that situation yesterday. To me, that was a teaching moment that was wasted there for him. And today, again, he got lifted for a pinch hitter late. I don't know why we're so damn concerned with pinch hitting for the 9th hitter. Let the kid kind of go through the paces here. Let him try to see these situations. Let him try to, excel through these situations, or even, get tested through these situations. But I thought overall, Justin Crawford was a positive. Absolutely a positive. Only 3 games, and I want Kevin Long fired. Right now, they are again this whole Kevin Long hitting coach at the major league level. I'm going to push back on this one too. I get what Kevin Long is, but if you really got to sit there and try to teach a major league baseball player how to hit, I don't know if it's the coach or maybe it's the hitter. Right? These guys have made it to this level. Long before Kevin Long, I'm not throwing the bench coach or the hitting coach under the bus for this at all. And these are what these guys are. You guys are talking like this is all of a sudden some sort of nuance, a wrinkle in time. Oh my God. You're telling me Bryce Harper, is swinging wildly and all he does is swing heavy. He doesn't understand situational base running, or he doesn't understand situational hitting. Wow. Is this, it's not like you're telling me that this is something new. It's not, man. It's been going on for years. I'm not going to blame Kevin Long for the struggles of the entire lineup. This is who these players are. Yeah, rookie being better than a lot of this team. Right now, they don't look so good. I just watch how teams pitch them when they are losing, pitching backwards and chasing. That's the blueprint to beat them. Thank you to the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? That's the blueprint. And no one has yet to counter the blueprint. Yeah, I mean, again, one of the beautiful things, and we've been doing this show for 5 years. One of the beautiful things about this show is that, especially with this Phillies team, we've been able to sort of carry over because it's been the same team. And all these things that we're going to start going down the rabbit hole on. And yes, there are things that need to be going. We're going to do it. It's just the way it is. But these are old, tired arguments. Old, tired arguments that we've had for 5 years. And why they're not fixed, your guess is as good as mine. Why these players are still here, your guess is as good as mine. But this is not nothing. We're not breaking any new ground here today. Bases loaded with no outs. Harper up and strike out. Well, again, it does not shock me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Terrible approach from everyone. Can Dante Nori play the outfield? Absolutely. When he gets above AA, he can. I mean, come on, man. So we don't got to go all the way down to Reading to get an outfielder. We got outfielders down there in Lehigh Valley. They're hurt, but we got some outfielders down there. You can go down there. Nori would not take over for Marsh. Nori, I would take over Marsh. Not right now. I wouldn't. Not at this stage in his career. He wants Robbie fired 3 years late. Yeah. 2 words, plate discipline. 2 more or 5 more words. Again, the same conversation for 5 years. What is the next step here? What's the next step in the evolution of this baseball team? Somebody provide something different to this conversation. And I really want to know. We can't play small ball. Yeah, we cannot. It's frustrating. Goddamn frustrating. Let's get into this. Let's talk. Box score time. Phillies would finish today, or I said Rangers 8 runs on 8 hits. Phillies 3 runs on 4 lousy hits. Offensive standouts for your fighting Phillies today. I guess Bryson Stott in a pinch hitting role did get that hit late. But that's it. You know, Justin Crawford. We could talk. Justin Crawford was 1 for 3. With 2 strikeouts. I mean, it's hard to find an offensive standout when you had 4 hits. For the Rangers, Nimmo, the Philly killer, was at it again today. 2 for 4 with 2 hits and 2 more RBIs and a homer. The other big knocker was McCutchen, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, sort of the back-breaking 3-run jack to kind of put the game out of reach on the home run. So they're your offensive standouts for both the Phillies and the Rangers. Pitching wise, I know we haven't really discussed much of Jesus Luzardo, and we're hanging a lot of this on the offense. But let's talk about Luzardo. 6 innings in the loss, 6 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned. A walk, 7 strikeouts, 2 homers, 99 pitches in 6 innings. Good God. Yesterday, what Nola do? Like 92 and 5? Man, that's labored. 99 pitches in 6 lousy innings. Just did not look rushed, maybe. I guess you might want to say. Looked a little busy out there. Looked a little preoccupied. He just didn't look like he got into a groove and he could get comfortable. Yesterday, Nola looked the same way. You kind of blame the cold on that one. I don't know what you blame this one on. Luzardo did not come out of the chute looking good for the Phillies. Mackenzie Gore gets the win. He went 5 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He went 90 pitches in 5 1/3. I guess this is the new major leagues, man. Ain't gonna work for me. Zach Pop, Brad Keller, and Kyle Backus came in an attempt to sort of mitigate the damage. Pop in an inning gave up a hit, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 1, struck out 1. His ERA is up to 1 or 9, and then the rest of them just kind of did what they had to do. Keller looked pretty good, I thought. I thought Keller looked pretty good for the Phillies out of the bullpen. Win, Balmer, Martin, and Garcia all pitched in mop-up duty for the Rangers as they had to go to the back end of their bullpen for this one in the win. Scoring summary, Brandon Nimmo would get it all rolling for the Rangers in the 3rd inning with the 2-run jack. 410-foot shot to give the Rangers 2-0 lead. And then the backbreaker in the fourth, McCutchen with the 3-run jack. Then they give it 5-0. Higasanaka would knock in McCutchen in the sixth to make it 6-0. Bohm was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, which forced in a run in the sixth inning to get the Phillies back on the board 6-1. Garcia would sac fly in Turner in the sixth to make it 6-2, but they could have gotten more. Didn't work. In the seventh for the Rangers, Duran doubled in Carter to make it 7-2. Seager then would follow that up with a sac fly, scoring Duran to make it 8-2. And Stott would add a run on a single, knocking in Harper back in the bottom of the eighth. And that was all the scoring today as the Phillies fall 8-3, losing the series 2-1. And now we'll get ready for the Washington Nationals as we'll turn this thing over tomorrow. Just not, again, really any AAA outfielder could and should replace Kemp. Yeah, he struggled out in the outfield today. At least two balls, the troubled balls off the wall. The first one, I thought he should have been able to make a play on cleanly, and he misplayed it a little bit. And then the second one, he wasn't going to be able to make a play on it. He just misplayed the carom, and it cost them some extra, or cost them an extra base on that. Yeah, it was not a good day for Otto Kemp in the outfield. Not a good day at all. Phillies suck. They're projected to finish third behind the Mets, Braves. Harper is cooked. Harper looks sauteed. Al dente, right? I don't know if he's cooked, but he sure as hell 1 for 11 ain't a way to start the damn season. Projected to finish third. Yeah, we'll see. I think you're giving the National League East a lot more props than you should. Well, we're 3 games in, right? We're 3 games in. But I'm not going to disagree with the Harper stuff. I had concerns about Harper heading into the season. I had concerns about Harper heading into the season since 2024. It's not gotten much better. I'm not sold on Harper anymore. Maybe we need to move him down the lineup, right? Maybe we need to change some things up there. 1 for 11. 1 for 11 in this series. Turner's at-bats to start the season have been maddening. They've been undisciplined. Was it yesterday with the bases loaded? 3 straight pitches down the middle. He swings and misses. Terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Hopefully they sweep Washington. They got to come back, and they have a doable opportunity to do that. The Washington Nationals, in their wisdom, have not even been able to secure 3 starters for this series. Tomorrow, Foster Griffin will go against Taijuan Walker. And then Washington has not announced the last 2 starters. I don't know how you come out of spring training not having the initial rotation in place right now. But I do know Andrew Painter is going to pitch Tuesday. So maybe we get about 4 to 5 innings from Walker tomorrow. We put up some runs. We can get that W. And then Andrew Painter comes out, strikes out 11 in his rookie debut. And we win on Tuesday and see what happens on Wednesday with Sanchez. So they got to come back pretty good, 5th, and no postseason. Star Wars is putting it 3 games in, man. We're already setting fire to the boats. Maybe move Bohm up in the lineup. So what about this? What about my lineup? What about my lineup that I've been banging on a drum for 2 years? Turner, Bohm, Harper, Schwarber, I guess Garcia, Real Muto, Marsh, Stott, Crawford. Time to give that one a shot. Is it time to give that one a chance? Cade Cavelli goes Wednesday. He shut us down last year. They have not announced it yet. We'll see. He shut us down last year. I remember that game. Yeah. Actually pitched against us twice last year, I believe. As far as I know, the Nationals have not announced starters for the next 2 games. Not to say that you're wrong. They just have not announced them yet. Yeah, I got an undecided going against Painter. And I got a undecided going against Sanchez. So what I'm looking at, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but we'll see. And I like Cade Cavelli. He's a good pitcher. But they have nobody going tomorrow, or they have nobody on Tuesday named yet. So we'll see how that works out. 8-3 is your final. Phillies fall to the Rangers. Phillies continue their frustrating start to their season. 3 games in, it's tough to watch. Yeah. Just imagine being down there, right? The last 2 games being down there. At least they had some fight in them yesterday. They just didn't seem to be interested in this game. I mean, 6-0. Did anybody think when it was 6-0 they were going to come back? Did anybody really think that? It's terrible. Griffin, yeah, they did announce their starter for Monday. It's going to be Griffin versus Walker. So, all right, let's go to our Broad Street bottom line. Let's get that out the way. All right, today the Broad Street bottom line for me is simply it's not necessarily about this game. It sort of encompasses the entire series. Just an embarrassing way to get the season beginning. I'm not saying that the season's over. I still think the Phillies win the division. I don't think they win the World Series, but I still think they win the division. I still think they're just too talented not to. And I unlike a lot of other people, don't give the National League East much credit right now until they prove otherwise. But not a good way to get the season going. This is not the way. Under a very suspicious offseason where a lot of people were wondering why are we running this back, right? And then you had the manager pushing back saying we're not running it back. 25% of our roster is different, yada yada yada. This is not the way you want to kind of get off the block and sort of like tone that talk down. There's going to be a lot of questions coming out of this series with a lot of the same characters, and unfortunately, what's more frustrating about this, it's the same questions. It's the same questions we've been asking for 5 years. And that's going to start weighing in on a lot of people, right? 1 and 2 is not it's not a cause for major concern in the record, in the win-loss column in the standings, not 3 games in. But there was more of a opportunity this weekend to come out and sort of shut people up and be like, okay, well, maybe this is what this is and they can make it work. And I'm not still saying they can't make it work. But what this weekend proved was, at least for one more series, this team is still the same team that walked off the field, that could not come up offensively against the Dodgers, could not come up offensively against the Mets, could not figure offensively to finish off the Diamondbacks, and then blew their opportunity in the World Series in 2022. This series did not provide any information to the contrary of that. This series did not say, well, okay, the addition of Crawford, putting Bohm at 4 and Stott at 5, that's going to magically sort of lift everybody to a different world. This series did absolutely nothing. It obviously worked the opposite. Now we're asking questions again about Bryce Harper's swing. Now we're asking questions about what the hell Alec Bohm is. And it's funny because when you go ahead and you announce a lineup that has Bohm batting 4th and Stott batting 5th, immediately Homer Phillies fans go right to the whole, let's make excuses for why it is. Let's talk about why it could work, when they know in their heart of hearts, deep down in their sub-regions, that's never going to work. It's never going to work. You can't jam Bohm into the cleanup hole, and you sure as hell can't put Stott at 5. You just can't do it. Especially if you're going to go with this lefty-righty nonsense analytics, and you're not even going to let Stott play today. You can't trust your 5-hole hitter. I just don't understand that. So that's what the main concern in my Broad Street bottom line is, that this series was a wasted opportunity, not for the season, mind you, not for the season. The season is way too young for me to, say it's over, but it's a wasted opportunity to shut people up like me, who are uber critical about the direction of this franchise over the past few years. And they blew an opportunity. Now we got a bunch of more questions that are the same questions. The same 5-year-old tired-ass questions that are still not yet answered. And we got to go into the Washington National Series with that stuff looming over our head. And then Sleepy Rob with his press conferences and his, God damn, you just want to slap him in the face. Thank God they don't let me in that room. Oh, my God, man. But anyway, I digress. A wasted opportunity that this series was. No fight, the same old lackadaisical offense, the same old unaware of situational hitting, the same problems that have plagued this team for 5 years were once again on display this weekend. And that is my bottom line is that's a bad look to start the season, regardless if they go 160-2, right? I don't care. You started off the season with a bad look. And there you go. That's my Broad Street bottom line. And that was brought to you by the good folks over at the Clear the Ice, our Flyers postgame show, because we're back tonight I had you last night for the Red Wings. Mike Lauro will have you tonight for the Dallas Stars. Flyers going back-to-back with a must-win situation at hand down there at the arena. Join Mike immediately following the game, and let's get this thing going. Let's keep the Flyers going in our minds and prayers and thoughts. They need to have the eye of that Tiger Bulldog mentality. Mets lost. That's good. 1-3 is in the best of 5. You go home. 1-3 in the best of 5. You go home. To Pittsburgh. What are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about the Mets losing to Pittsburgh? Braves lost. Bryce Harper Jr. or JT Realmuto, Garcia, Marsh, Crawford can't win with this lineup. No, I don't think we can. Philadelphia frauds, man. I got nothing for that. Phillies are winning 80 games this year. Remember, I told you. Listen, Alfreda, sorry. Alfred's the raccoon guy, whatever you are. If 80 wins gets me in the playoffs, I don't care. I'm not looking at it. I don't care about the divisions. I don't care about that stuff. If 80 wins is all it takes to get to the playoffs, so be 80 wins. But of course, if it's not, obviously we got other problems. All right. Let's go. I guess we can go round the bases on this Sunday afternoon. Get to some major league scores. All right, let's go traipsing across Major League Baseball on this Sunday, first Sunday of the season. Currently, games that are still ongoing. It is 6-6 Angels and Astros as they start playing the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-4 the White Sox. Oh, man, they might win in the bottom of the 8th against the Brewers. Top of the 9th action out in the Big Lou. 9-7 Rays over the Cardinals, and they are final in Chicago. That just went final. The Nationals take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs start the season by beating the Cubs 6-3. Games that are now final as well. Kansas City 4-1 over the Braves. Braves took 2 out of 3 from the Royals, but the Royals salvaged the final game. The Twins lose 8-6 to the Orioles. It is the Blue Jays 5, the A's 2 as the Jays swept the Blue Jays, or the Blue Jays swept the A's. I still think the A's are going to the playoffs this year. Mark my words. You heard that here first. Reds 3-2 winners over the Red Sox. It was the Marlins who are now 3-0 over the Rockies, 0-3, of course, in 10 innings. You know what? A battle of a series for as what you want to call the Pirates, and they ended up losing 2 out of 3 to the Mets. But they won today. They battled their butts off against the Mets all weekend. Yesterday was an extra inning game. They go extras today. You know, you have the Paul Skeens defense lets them down game on Thursday. The Pirates came out into the season swinging, man. Don't write them off quite yet. And of course, I already mentioned the Nationals Cubs games that are still left to be played tonight on Peacock. I was going to say ESPN. I ain't going to say that no more because ESPN doesn't have it. But the Peacock Network tonight, 7:20, the Guardians against the Mariners, and that is your look around Major League Baseball on this Sunday. And next up for the Phillies, of course, is the Washington Nationals. Not Cade Cavelli. On Monday, it'll be, what is it? Foster Griffin will go up against Taijuan Walker, a 6:40 start time, the first night game of the season for the Phillies. That'll be your action on Monday, and the Nationals will be welcomed in on a 3-game set before the Phillies will head out west in a mini West Coast trip. Here is your fight and final schedule for the National Series. Mike will be back tomorrow for that. Al will have you on Tuesday, and I'll get you on the rubber game on Wednesday, the day game. So the business person special, if you will, down there at Citizen Bank Park as the Phillies will hit the road after that series, head out to Colorado, and then over to San Francisco for a mini little West Coast trip before coming back home a week from Friday against Diamondbacks. So make sure you're checking us out here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network for all your Fightins final and Phillies needs, as well, of course, as your Flyers needs. This is your schedule for the rest of the day. Tomorrow we have the Flyers Stars postgame coming up upon completion of the Flyers game tonight. This is your schedule in advance next week. No fighting. There will be a final word tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with the final word. No final word tonight, but I'm back tomorrow. And then no final word again until Thursday as postgames are starting to overtake us here on the network. But here is your peek ahead of the week that is coming up on the network. 8-3 is your final. Phillies go down, and they don't. I can't even say they go down swinging, man. And just go down. Just go down like the dogs that they were. I think they're going to win more than 80. Not 95, 90. Yeah, I say 90. Luis Robert Jr. hit a walk-off homer for them last night. Yeah, but they almost blew that thing, right? Didn't they have the bases loaded in the 10th, and they couldn't get the winning run in? We could have had him for nothing. Don't want him. You can have Luis Robert. The bullpen and no Castillo still being told Dombrowski will make a big trade deadline for the missing bat. I think the bullpen's fine. Castellanos could go. That's fine too. Missing the bat in search for 4 years now, 80 and 85. Disagree with all that. Do you think they're a below 500 team? Not yet. I am going to screenshot all this, and I will show you guys this as we move through the season. 80 and 85, no. Right. Will they win the division? I don't know. 3 games in. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today. It was interesting, fun. Don't forget, we have a season of fun ahead of us. And then real quick, before I do say goodbye, this would be the time in the show where I would segue over to the Down on the Phillies farm segment. This is the encompassing look at the entire Philadelphia Philly minor league system. Of course, we're not going to do it today because we had the Iron Pigs just start on Friday. Everybody else is not getting going until the beginning of next week. But we will come back next Sunday for a Fightins final, and we'll talk about the AAA team, the Pigs, and then the following week we'll break everybody down with the exception, of course, the DSL Phillies and the FCL Phillies. We won't talk about them because their leagues haven't started yet. But just a little bit of a watching the Iron Pigs. I watched them Friday and I watched them Saturday. You know, starting off the season with 4 players that they're really counting on not in the lineup. A little bit of a mixy-matchy type thing going on down in Lehigh right now. I don't know if you guys have checked this out. Not starting the season off with Miller, Raconis. Rojas is considered one of their Stewart players, and also Aiden Miller. You know, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for them, I think, in the early going before they get these players back and they can kind of get things kind of going in the right direction. They played well, though, with those players down. I was very impressed, of course, yesterday. Zach Wheeler and Kerkering pitched in a win. So, it is what it is in AAA. It's not conducive, obviously. We want to see Aiden Miller play. You want to see Gabe Raconis Jr. play. You want to see those guys back in the lineup, especially for the feeder situation into the Phillies. But, it was a little mixy-matchy on this weekend. But obviously this is not what the team is going to be heading into the season. But we'll definitely start getting a look at the Iron Pigs next week for our Down on the Phillies farm segment. And we got to do what we got to do. Is this still sticking bold? Trout, Marte, or Buxton will be in Philly. I disagree with all that. They're not going to pay the price for Trout, Marte, or Buxton. And, here's the thing. You're going to put Trout in center field, Buxton in center field. So what are you going to do with Crawford, man? Right? Again, we got to be realistic about this stuff. I'm not prepared to mortgage the future for a Mike Trout or a Kel Marte or a Buxton. I'm not prepared to do it. That's a ridiculous offer. That's a ridiculous trade request. Are you giving up on Justin Crawford? You're just giving up on him? You want to move him to left field? I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not going to do that. Braves will bounce back. Mets are improved. Phillies are also a year older. Braves are also starting the season extremely hurt. Mets don't scare me. Miami scares me more than they do. Wow, dude. Mets got the best offense in the division on paper. Maybe the worst pitching, but the best offense. We gave up on Rojas. Did we give up on Rojas for real, or did the Rojas give up on us? Was Johan Rojas the future in center field? I don't think so. Nori, Gage, Wood, Escobar. Probably to replace Crawford in center field. We're ready to move Crawford out. Man, you guys got to settle down, man. I'm willing to bet they would. Nori, Gage Wood. So you would give up on Dante Nori, Gage Wood, who's on the lower part of his progression, and a Rune Escobar, who's could possibly be. Now, listen, Escobar out of those three is probably the more, I don't know, I'm not going to say expendable, but he is an infielder. I would look at maybe potentially moving on from him, but I'm not looking to move the other two at this point. We do have a lot of situations. Our outfield's unsettled right now. I'm not looking to move off of Dante Nori and Gage Wood. We're going to eventually have to fill in that rotation around 2028 when Gage Wood is supposedly ready. So not looking to move off of those guys, any of those two, or not Nori, Wood, Escobar, maybe I'd be looking to move off of him. He's a little expendable, seeing how he's an infielder. But no, not the others. Not looking to move off of them right now. Not for those retreads, man. Rojas can't hit. Crawford can. I have a lot more of a higher ceiling for Justin Crawford than I did for Johan Rojas. I don't know. Call me Kisma. I just have a feeling that he's going to be a lot better player than Johan Rojas would ever have been. So that's my take on all that. All right, guys, we're going to end up wrapping this thing up. Crawford is a ground ball hitter. Trust me, he's not. So you're telling me that when you hit the ball on the ground, you're not an MLB caliber hitter? Why is that? Do you have to be a home run hitter? You have to hit power? You can't scratch out a career hitting line drives and base hits through the middle? You can't have a, what did somebody tell me earlier this morning? You can't have a Willie McGee, Vince Coleman-esque type season. Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn wasn't a power hitter. He used all fields. So you're telling me that part of being an MLB caliber hitter is hitting the ball out of the park or deep or fly balls? I don't understand that. What are you talking about? That makes no sense. Maybe he's not an MLB caliber hitter in the 21st century Major League Baseball as it stands right now, but that could change. And if you're really going to sit here and tell me that Justin Crawford is not an MLB caliber hitter because he does not hit the ball in the air, dude, you might want to go and watch some more baseball, man, before you make that sort of comment to me about that. That's absolutely ridiculous. Exit velo matters. His ground balls will be 90% outs. Exit velo does not matter. Doesn't matter at all. It matters in some sort of analytic stat track. That has nothing to do with it. 100%. So you're going to pit some of the greatest hitters of all time because of exit velo. So Pete Rose, what was his exit velo? Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer, right? So also the hits leader. Wasn't a power hitter. Absolutely not. You are a current fan of the game. You have no idea about the history of this game. Extra velo is garbage. Launch angle is garbage. Hitting is hitting. I don't care if he hits it on the ground, he hits a line drive, he hits it in the alley, hits it out of the park. Whatever the case is, get on goddamn base. That's all that matters. And to sit here and tell me you don't think Justin Crawford is a goddamn, not a MLB caliber hitter because he doesn't hit the ball in the air, dude, I cannot help you, man. I cannot help you. Makes perfect sense. Is not ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I know something needs to change after these first 3 games. Better approaches at the plate instead of swinging. Broad Street, listen to me, man. Dude, we are like eye to eye on this, man. But here's the thing: we've been talking about this for 5 years, right? 5 years. We've been saying the same thing. Better plate approach, better situational hitting, more of a influence from the manager. Somebody throw a bunt down every now and again. Everybody, they actually executed a sacrifice fly amazingly today. Amazingly, they had a sac fly, right? We've been talking for this stuff for 5 years. I think it's more of a point where we've reached a point in this where it's not about trying to recreate the wheel. These hitters are not doing that. Now, the other question is, well, then why are we still doing this? And that's probably the more pertinent question. Why are we still doing this? Why is this lineup still coming out year after year after year after year? That's probably the biggest question. And obviously, that Dave Dombrowski has the answer to that. John Middleton has the answer to that. We don't have the answer to that. Trying to jam a square peg into a round hole for 5 years and not being able to do it just is not working. And we've talked about better plate approaches. We've talked about all this other hitting fundamental stuff. It's just not happening. This manager won't change the lineup. This manager won't do anything non-analytical about this lineup. He doesn't allow his gut to put people in the proper spots in this lineup, regardless if they're a lefty or they're a righty, whatever. He looks at a goddamn sheet about how to friggin' drive his lineup, right? You can tell by the eye test, Alec Boehm's not a cleanup hitter. Tell by the eye test, Bryson Stott's not a goddamn cleanup hitter. We can talk about this thing till we're blue in the face, but nothing is changing, man. And we got to find another way to get through this. I don't know why we got to. The Phillies do. That's the frustrating part about this, is that we have talked about this for years. And no one has the answer. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Small ball is good. Yep. Pete Rose could get the ball past the infielder. Crawford can't. In 3 games, we're going to assess that, right? Pete Rose ground rubber was nowhere near Crawford's. In 3 games. In 3 games. Why don't you like Crawford? Because he's probably a modern fan, Star Wars, and this is what's wrong with the sport of baseball. He doesn't know anything about the sport. He knows about home runs and exit velo and launch angle. That's all he knows about. That's all he cares about, because he was either told by somebody that this is how you build a baseball team, or maybe he's a former player who that's all they cared about was trying to get the ball out of the park or up into the air. He's a new school baseball guy. He's part of what's wrong with the new school of baseball. And again, I know no disrespect intended. I'm a down the middle kind of guy, but I would take a scratch hitter. I would take a ground ball hitter in this lineup. I would take that type of hitter over anything that we have currently, because we need that guy in the lineup right now. Sort of offset all the power nonsense. So again, I don't blame Alfred for not understanding this. He probably has never watched baseball beyond the year 2000, or before that. Probably has never seen a baseball game before that. So he doesn't understand what baseball is really about. And it's going back. It's swinging back the other way. So I would imagine that things are going to people like him are going to have a really hard way of dealing with baseball in about 10 years when it goes back to the way it used to be. It's not a matter of liking him. It's the analytical truth. It's analytic. Kiss my ass and shove your analytics up your ass for all I care. Not in 3 games. Look at his minor league stats. Again, we're going to look at his AAA stats. And by the way, he was batting over 400 last year in Lehigh Valley. Set records for the international, and that was Aid Miller in the Eastern League. Stole about 40 some odd bases at AAA. He was finding his way on base. He was a gap hitter up there in AAA. I've watched him for about maybe half his season pretty religiously. So again, I don't understand what you mean. You batted over 400 last year, and that's an analytical stat, right? So. Lost 2 out of 3 at Texas and on the Washington with Walker on the mound. 1-3 appears inevitable to start the season. Same old consistent offense because of the same old hitters. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Give me a break about what, man? I tell you what, you put together your baseball team. I'll put together my baseball team. We'll play each other in a 7-game series. We'll see who wins. You do your analytical team. I'll do my gut feeling team. How's that, man? That's what we'll do. And we'll see who wins out. Wish there was a way we could do that. All right. That is going to wrap me up. I want to appreciate it. And I thank you guys for tuning in today for the inaugural Sunday afternoon edition of the Fighting Spine. We'll be back tomorrow night. And Big Al or Mike will have you tomorrow night. Actually, you're going to get a double dose of Mike. You're going to get him tonight and then tomorrow. Tonight for the Flyers and tomorrow for the Phillies. So we talk again. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Phillies lose 8-3. Season off to a hell of a start. We'll see you. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Good start to your week. We'll see you tomorrow night.